Hello everyone, this is Archita and welcome to Pharmacopedia. Hope you all are doing well. So this is the part 2 of the chapter lipid. In the part 1, we have discussed what are actually lipids, its classification and biological significance. In part 2, we'll be seeing what are actually fatty acids, its nomenclature, and then we'll be seeing essential fatty acids and its biological aspect. So talking about fatty acids, that what are actually fatty acids? तो फैटी एसिड्स आपके ऐसे मॉलिक्यूल होते हैं जिसमें एक लॉन्ग हाइड्रोकार्बन चेन होता है एंड अ कार्बोक्सिल ग्रुप इज आल्सो प्रेजेंट एट इट्स end. So look here at its structure. So we here have the carboxyl group at its end, and also we have the long hydrocarbon chain. So this actually depicts the structure of fatty acids. And this fatty acids actually contains a polar carboxyl group and a non-polar or hydrophobic hydrocarbon chain. So due to this reason, this fatty acid actually shows the amphipathic nature. बिकॉज जो कार्बोक्सिल ग्रुप होते हैं वो पोलर नेचर के होते हैं और जो हाइड्रोकार्बन चेन होते हैं वो आपके नॉन पोलर नेचर के होते हैं. दैट्स वाई ये जो फैटी एसिड है वो क्या होते हैं, वो एम्फीपैथिक मॉलिक्यूल होते हैं. एंड वन मोर थिंग इज दैट कि जो हाइड्रोकार्बन चेन के एंड में जो कार्बन एटम प्रेजेंट होता है उसको हम बोलते हैं ओमेगा कार्बन और इट इज डेजिग्नेटेड एज ओमेगा कार्बन. लुक हियर डियर स्टूडेंट्स, यहाँ पे क्या है, टोटल बॉडी फैट के कंटेंट्स हैं. सो इट कंटेन्स 50% ऑफ ओलिक एसिड, 25% of palmitic acid, 10% of linoleic acid, and 5% of stearic acid. So this actually shows that olic, palmitic, linoleic, and stearic acid are important in the body. So now we here have the saturated fatty acids. So what are actually saturated fatty acids? तो सैचुरेटेड फैटी एसिड्स ऐसे फैटी एसिड्स होते हैं जिसमें कोई भी डबल बॉन्ड प्रेजेंट नहीं होता है. सो इट डज नॉट कंटेन एनी काइंड ऑफ डबल बॉन्ड. एग्जांपल हियर इज द ब्यूटायरिक एसिड दैट कंटेन्स टोटल ऑफ 4 carbon atoms. Then we here have the palmitic acid. It contains total of 16 carbon atoms, and then we here have the stearic acid which contains total of 18 carbon atoms. So this is the example of saturated fatty acids. Now we here have the classification of fatty acids. So this chart actually depicts the total or complete classification of fatty acids. So depending upon the total number of carbon atoms, we here have the even chain and odd chain fatty acids. So even chain fatty acids ऐसे fatty acids होते हैं जिसमें जो कार्बन होता है वो even number में present होता है. Example 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc. So most of the naturally occurring जो lipids होते हैं that lies in the category of even chain fatty acids. When you see the odd chain fatty acids, so इसमें क्या होंगे, कार्बन एटम्स आपके odd number में present होंगे. Example 3, 5, 7, 9 and so on. And this is basically seen in the microbial cell walls or even it is present in the milk. Example of even chain fatty acids are palmitic acid जो हमने भी पहले देखा जिसमें टोटल ऑफ 16 कार्बन एटम प्रेजेंट होते हैं. एंड देन वी हैव आल्सो सीन द स्टेरिक एसिड जिसमें टोटल 18 कार्बन एटम प्रेजेंट होते हैं. और जिन फैटी एसिड्स के एग्जांपल्स में आते प्रोपायोनिक एसिड व्हिच टोटल कंटेन्स 3 कार्बन एटम्स. Now depending upon the length of hydrocarbon chain, we here have the short chain carbon atom, medium chain, long chain and very long chain. So within the short chain, the total number of carbon atom present is between 2 to 6. Medium chain contains 8 to 14 and long chain contains 16 or above और 16 to 24 कार्बन एटम्स. वेरी लॉन्ग चेन फैटी एसिड्स के अंदर होते हैं मोर देन 24 कार्बन एटम्स. Now the third classification actually depends upon the nature of hydrocarbon chain. This is very important which you need to learn. The first one is the saturated fatty acids. As I have already told you, saturated fatty acids ऐसे fatty acids होते हैं जिसमें किसी भी तरह के डबल बॉन्ड नहीं प्रेजेंट होते हैं. Unsaturated वो होते हैं जिसमें डबल बॉन्ड प्रेजेंट होते हैं. So depending upon the number of double bond present, it is classified as MUFA, that is monounsaturated fatty acids, and PUFA, that is polyunsaturated fatty acids. MUFA में single और one double bond present होगा and polyunsaturated fatty acids में 2 or more double bonds are present. And there are also branch chain fatty acids and hydroxy fatty acids. Within the hydroxy fatty acids, the best example is the beta hydroxy butyric acid. So ये जो बीटा हाइड्रोक्सी ब्यूटारिक एसिड है, it's one of the ketone bodies which is produced during the metabolism. So it is like a ketone body. Actually, it's a ketone body. Now moving ahead to the nomenclature of fatty acids. So this nomenclature is based upon the total number of hydrocarbon present in that fatty acids. So जो भी name होगा fatty acids का, it is derived from the total hydrocarbon present. So the saturated fatty acids actually ends with the suffix enoic. Saturated में जो suffix use होता है वो है enoic और example है octanoic acid, and in unsaturated fatty acids the suffix used is the enoic. We here have the numbering of the carbon atoms. As you can see here, this is a fatty acids containing the carboxyl group and a long hydrocarbon chain. So we all know, we have studied in the organic chemistry कि जब numbering शुरू होती है, it's from the functional group present. Functional group से numbering start करते हैं. Simple, इतना हम सबको पता है. तो यहाँ पे जो नंबरिंग स्टार्ट होगी वो कहाँ से होगी, कार्बोक्सिल एंड से. सो द फर्स्ट कार्बन विल बी द कार्बन ऑफ द कार्बोक्सिल ग्रुप. सिमिलरली 2 3 4 एंड सो ऑन इट विल बी नंबर्ड. जब अगर नंबरिंग आपकी अगर मिथाइल ग्रुप या एंड ऑफ एलिफेटिक चेन के एंड में जो आपकी आपकी जो मिथाइल ग्रुप प्रेजेंट है, अगर आपने वहां से नेमिंग शुरू की, देन इट विल बी नेम्ड इन टर्म्स ऑफ ओमेगा, लाइक ओमेगा 1, ओमेगा 2, ओमेगा 3, ओमेगा 4 एंड सो ऑन. सो इसके अकॉर्डिंग क्या होता है, नंबरिंग होती है कार्बन एटम्स की. So here we have the unsaturated fatty acids in terms of family. So it is also designated as omega 3 family, omega 6 family and omega 9 family. This is omega. So omega 3 family में आते हैं लिनोलेनिक एसिड, omega 6 family में आते हैं लिनोलेइक और एरिकिडोनिक एसिड एंड omega 9 family में आते हैं ओलिक एसिड. अब ये omega 3 6 9 है क्या? अगर डबल बॉन्ड कार्बन नंबर ओमेगा कार्बन 3 और 4 के बीच में प्रेजेंट है, सो इट विल बिलोंग टू ओमेगा 3 फैमिली. 6 और 7 के बीच में प्रेजेंट है, ओमेगा 6. 9 और 10 के बीच में प्रेजेंट है, देन इट बिलोंग्स टू ओमेगा 9 फैमिली. We here have a list of polyunsaturated fatty acids. So the first one is the linoleic acid. So here you can see the total carbon present is 18, same as in the linolenic acid. So do not get confused between the linoleic and the linolenic acid. दोनों में carbon number same है. The difference is between the presence of the double bonds. And we here have the arachidonic acid. अब हम डिस्कस करेंगे यहाँ पे शॉर्ट हैंड रिप्रेजेंटेशन. So biochemists actually employ this short hand representation to actually write the fatty acid instead of drawing the complete structure. So ये short hand representation में पहले क्या देखते हैं, सबसे पहले हम देखते हैं कि total carbon atom क्या है. Okay, so let's take an example of linoleic acid. So इसमें total carbon atom कितने हैं, 18. एंड फिर विल बी सीइंग कि कितने डबल बॉन्ड्स हैं. तो इसमें कितने डबल बॉन्ड्स हैं, इसमें है टोटल 2 डबल बॉन्ड्स. एंड फिर हम उसकी पोजीशनिंग देखते हैं कि उसकी पोजीशनिंग क्या है. So the position is at 9 and 12. यहाँ पे 9 and 12 पे आपके double bonds present हैं. So this is the shorthand representation of the fatty acids. Again we'll be seeing an example of linolenic acid. इसमें total carbon atom कितने हैं? Firstly, the total carbon atom is 18 and the total double bond is 3. And then where it is present? It is present at carbon number 9, 12 and 15. So this is how you actually draw the shorthand representation of fatty acids. Again, it can also be depicted in the form of this, like here it shows that the double bond is present at carbon 9 and 12, and here it presents the double bond 9, 12 and 15, and here it presents that the double bond is present at 5, 8, 11 and 14. So this is how the fatty acids are actually written. It's like simple form. इतना लंबा लिखने से अच्छा है या इतना lengthy लिखने से अच्छा है, you can simply use this shorthand representation. So this actually represents the total number of carbon atom, then double bond, and where it is present. Okay, moving ahead to the essential fatty acids. So what are actually essential fatty acids? As the name says, essential, that is required for the body. So the fatty acids which cannot be synthesized by the body and therefore it should be supplied in the diet is termed as essential fatty acids. Essential fatty acids is supplied through the diet. So example of essential fatty acids are linoleic acid, which is a type of polyunsaturated fatty acids. See here, this is a like shorthand representation of fatty acids. And then we have the linolenic acid, again shorthand representation. Also, the third one is the arachidonic acid, arachidonic acid. सी हियर दिस इज एराकिडोनिक एसिड. सो एराकिडोनिक एसिड को भी हम बोल सकते हैं एसेंशियल फैटी एसिड्स या सेमी एसेंशियल फैटी एसिड्स, बिकॉज ये जो एराकिडोनिक एसिड है इट इज एक्चुअली डिराइव्ड और लाइक सिंथेसाइज्ड फ्रॉम दिस लिनोलेइक एसिड, एंड देयरफॉर ये एराकिडोनिक एसिड भी एसेंशियल और सेमी एसेंशियल की कैटेगरी में आ जाता है. Now talking about the functions of essential fatty acids. Essential fatty acids have a wide range of functions. Firstly, ये जो required है membrane structure में it constitutes the structure of biomembranes, and it is also employed in the transportation of cholesterol, and also it is employed in the formation of lipoproteins, and it also acts as a lipotropic factor. ये जो essential fatty acids होते हैं ये lipotropic factors की तरह act करते हैं, and therefore it helps in the prevention of fatty liver. Also one more thing is that कि जो essential fatty acids हैं ये anti atherogenic agents की तरह भी जाने जाते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि ये जो essential fatty acids होते हैं ये क्या करते हैं, it promotes the excretion of cholesterol. So जो सीरम कोलेस्ट्रॉल लेवल है वो क्या हो जाएगी, कम हो जाएगी, एंड देयरफॉर दिस essential fatty acids are often known as anti-atherogenic agents. Also ये जो essential fatty acids हैं it also has a role in vision, because जो linoleic acid है it actually forms the docosahexaenoic acid. This linoleic acid forms the docosahexaenoic acid. So this actually is present in the retina's photoreceptor. So जो electrical activity होती है photoreceptors की उसको ये क्या करता है, enhance करता है. So this is how the essential fatty acids is important. Now moving ahead to the arachidonic acid, let me tell you जो arachidonic acids होते हैं, arachidonic acid it's very important. इसका importance हम देखते हैं किस तरह. Total it contains 20 carbon atoms, no doubt. So it actually forms the eicosanoids. So just familiar with this term, eicosanoids. So arachidonic acids with the help of two pathways. That the first one is the cyclooxygenase pathway. And the second pathway that this arachidonic actually undergoes is the lipoxygenase pathway. So ये जो arachidonic acid है it undergoes two pathway, that is the COX pathway and the LOX pathway, which you'll be studying in pharmacology as well. So through this cyclooxygenase pathway, this arachidonic acid actually forms the prostaglandins, prostacyclins, and also the thromboxanes. And through the lipoxygenase pathway it forms the leukotrienes. अब इसका importance क्या है? Because this prostaglandins are very much important because it acts as the lipid derived autocoids. ये क्या होते हैं? Lipid derived autocoids होते हैं, and therefore it mediates various functions such as it mediates the inflammatory response as well. So आपको यहाँ पे एक लिंक समझ में आ गया that this arachidonic acid actually can be processed to eicosanoids by means of two pathways, that is cyclooxygenase pathway and the lipoxygenase pathway, forming the prostaglandins, prostacyclins, thromboxanes, and the leukotrienes that acts as lipid derived autocoids and mediate the inflammatory response. So this is how the arachidonic acid is important in the body. Talking about the deficiency of essential fatty acids. So what are actually the deficiencies of essential fatty acids? So when there is actually this is quite uncommon, but still due to its deficiency it results in Phrynoderma or toad skin. So what are actually Phrynoderma, how will you categorize it? So there will be a sort of horny eruptions on the posterior and the lateral part of the limbs, and also on the back and the buttocks, and there will be a loss and poor wound healing. So this is the characteristics of the Phrynoderma or the toad skin. Now we here have the unsaturated fatty acids. So this unsaturated fatty acids actually has geometrical isomerism at the double bond. So it has both the configurations, that is cis configuration and the trans configuration. But cis is more likely to occur. जो आपके naturally occurring fatty acids होते हैं वो cis configuration में होते हैं. Okay, such as the polyunsaturated fatty acids actually exist in cis configuration, and जो trans fatty acids होते हैं it is not good for the body, because ये जो trans fatty acids होते हैं ये आपके processed foods में बहुत ज़्यादा high होते हैं या bakery products में बहुत ज़्यादा high amount में होते हैं, जहाँ पे जो आपके partially hydrogenated vegetable oils का इस्तेमाल किया जाता है. जो ट्रांस फैटी एसिड्स होते हैं बेसिकली इट इज रिक्वायर्ड टू इंक्रीज द शेल्फ लाइफ ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट की शेल्फ लाइफ को इंक्रीज करने के लिए ट्रांस फैटी एसिड्स का एडिशन किया जाता है. एंड ये जो ट्रांस फैटी एसिड्स के बहुत ही हार्मफुल इफेक्ट्स हो सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल इट कैन इवन लीड्स टू डायबिटीज, इट कैन इंक्रीज द इंसुलिन रेजिस्टेंस, ये इंसुलिन रेजिस्टेंस को इंक्रीज करता है, एंड ऑल्सो इट कैन कॉज द एडिपोसिटी. So therefore, this trans fatty acids are very harmful for the body. So when I talk about the unsaturated fatty acids, we'll be having the ओमेगा 3 फैटी एसिड्स. आपने आजकल बहुत नाम सुना होगा ओमेगा 3 फैटी एसिड्स का. इसका एडवर्टाइजमेंट बहुत ही ज़्यादा हो रहा है बिकॉज मेनी रिसर्चर्स हैव शोन कि ये जो ओमेगा 3 फैटी एसिड्स होते हैं इट हैज़ अ वाइड रोल इन इन्फेंट डेवलपमेंट. इन्फेंट डेवलपमेंट में इसका बहुत ही सिग्निफिकेंट रोल है, एंड ऑल्सो इट हैज़ अ वेरी सिग्निफिकेंट रोल इन कैंसर ऑल्सो. And it is also showed that it causes the pleiotropic effect. What is this pleiotropic effect? So ये जो pleiotropic effect है it is basically that the omega 3 fatty acids has the action against the inflammation, and also it shows action against hypertension, hyperlipidemia, and also in platelet aggregation. So therefore, this omega 3 fatty acids is like highly marketed in today's scenario, because this omega 3 fatty acids is like has a significant role in various important functions. Remember this pleiotropic effects of omega 3 fatty acids. Now moving ahead to the trans and cis configuration. So what is this actually cis configuration? Cis configuration, it means that the groups are present on the same side, and trans is like on the opposite side. So this cis form, example of the cis form is the oleic acid, and its trans form is termed as the elladic acid. Okay, so this is like कि जो आपके cis configurations में fatty acids होते हैं, it is good for the health, but जो आपके trans fatty acids होते हैं, it is not good for the health, because it's like it is harmful for the body. Now we'll be seeing the sources of fatty acids. Okay, so let me change the ink. Okay, so we here have the sources of fatty acids. So the first category is the saturated fatty acids. So what are the sources for saturated fatty acids? So we here have the coconut oil and the butter. जो आपके saturated fatty acids हैं, you can get it from the coconut oil and the butter. जो म्यूफा दैट इज मोनो अनसैचुरेटेड फैटी एसिड्स हैं, इसका जो बेस्ट सोर्स है वो है ऑयल्स. फॉर एग्जांपल सेसमे ऑयल, देन यू हैव द मस्टर्ड ऑयल, एंड देन यू हैव द ग्राउंडनट ऑयल, and also you have the palm oil. So the best source of MUFA are the sesame, mustard, groundnut, and the palm oil. Now the sources for polyunsaturated fatty acid or PUFA are the sunflower oil, and then you have in the list is the cottonseed oil, and then you have in the list is the fish oil, and the last one is the breast milk. So breast milk actually contains this polyunsaturated fatty acid. So this is the source of fatty acids. So just giving you a quick review that what actually we have seen. So we actually have seen that what are actually fatty acids and उसमें long chain fatty acids and polar carboxyl group present होते हैं. And then we have seen कि उसकी classifications क्या है, fatty acids की classifications हमने देख लिया. And then how actually we name the fatty acids. So we have seen this also omega series and important fatty acids are the linoleic, linolenic and the arachidonic acids के बारे में भी हमने देख लिया. And then we have seen essential fatty acids and its importance. And then we have seen that what are actually arachidonic acid, how it is important in the body or why it is important in the body. Then we have seen the deficiency of essential fatty acids. Then the last point is the unsaturated fatty acid. We have seen the cis and the trans configuration of the fatty acids. So I hope that this video is clear to you guys, and I hope कि आपको each and every point समझ में आया होगा. In case of any queries, please do ask in the comment section below, as I'm ready to help you guys. So in the next lecture, we'll be covering the next topic, that are the phospholipids or the triacylglycerols. So do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel Pharmacopedia, as it motivates me to create such educational contents for you guys. And yes, keep sharing the videos to all your colleagues. And this मिलते हैं next video में. Till then, keep studying and take care.